Some big guy is sitting over there waiting for you. He said you don't know who he is.
You.
Rocky IV is home to one of the most cartoonish supervillains of all time. Replace Batman and Robin's Bane with Ivan Drago, and it would have worked just fine.
Behold, the ideal killing machine!
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
The fact that they were bringing Drago back made me skeptical of Creed II. The first Creed took a pretty off-the-rails franchise and grounded it. To me, the Drago name was synonymous with the fun but downright ridiculous direction the original Rocky movies went. While I like that we have those movies, I mean, how else would we remember what actually ended communism?
If I can change, and you can change, everybody can change!
I love that wholesome insanity, but I did not want Adonis Creed's story to go down the same path. Not only did it not follow that path, it took what essentially was a brick with a mouth
He dies.
and morphed him into one of the most sympathetic cinematic villains of the century thus far. It achieved this by expanding on this moment in Rocky IV. We are not kind to athletes who disappoint us. Look at what people did to LeBron when he first left Cleveland. That's what happens when you're the pride and soul of a city. Ivan Drago had an entire country counting on him. He was the Russian fighter. He was supposed to bring and keep the belt at home. His failure to do so led to all of Russia turning on him.
Because of you, I'll lose everything.
He lost wealth, respect, even his wife. And not only did he lose his wife, the son he had with her lost his mother. She and the rest of Russia abandoned the Drago name because of the shame it brought to Russian boxing. Ivan Drago went from premier fighter to abandoned dog with a puppy to take care of. And we learn in Creed II that he took care of that puppy the only way he knew how.
All he knows is this.
Ivan teaches Victor to fight in hopes that his son will make up for what he did all those years ago.
Я проиграл. Но ты не проиграешь.
Victor is fighting for his father. There's a scene where Rocky says Victor has nothing to lose,
He's got nothing to lose.
and that's what makes him
He's got
dangerous.
nothing to lose. He's dangerous.
But that's not what makes him dangerous.
The thing that Victor wanted was to actually get the respect and the love of his father.
He does have something to lose, and it's even bigger than the country's respect. He has the love of his father to lose. Victor already doesn't have a mother. Without his dad, he'd had nowhere to go, and you see it in his training and fighting. Rocky describes it as raw, unhinged, and he's right. In every punch, you see the desperation to make his dad proud. In every grunt, you hear the anger he has at the people who abandoned his father. In his eyes. This was Florian Montanu's first big on-screen role, and the performance Stephen Gable Jr. got out of him is remarkable. He probably has less to say than Ivan Drago in Rocky IV, so most of the emotion had to be delivered through his eyes. You see them widen when his mother enters. You see them flare when he's told to break Creed. You see them cower when his father yells at him. When Ivan insults Victor, his eyes reveal the abused child that lies within him. Supposedly, in The Silence of the Lambs, Jonathan Demme was going to include a flashback while Clarice told the story of her and the lambs.
I took one lamb and I ran away as fast as I could.
Where were you going, Clarice?
But Jodie Foster sold the emotion so
I
well,
thought if I could save just one, but
a flashback wasn't needed.
he was so heavy. So heavy.
Florian Montanu, in his first big role, did the same thing. There are no flashbacks to baby Drago being forced to box, no flashbacks to little Victor crying in the corner as he sees his mother leave his father. You don't see his trauma happening, but Florian's eyes let you know it happened, and you feel how desperate he is to make his father proud and rebuild the Drago legacy every time he enters the ring. He isn't dangerous because he has nothing to lose.
When a fighter ain't got nothing to lose, he's dangerous.
He is dangerous because he has one thing left to lose, and he will fight tooth and nail to keep that one thing. He needs his father's love. The fact that he's fighting for such a human thing, not a belt, not even Russia's respect, for his dad's approval, it makes you root for Victor. Not that you're rooting against Adonis. You want him to have his legacy.
I was afraid I couldn't live up to these expectations.
But while you're rooting for Adonis, a part of you goes yay every time Victor lands a punch. You wouldn't mind a Drago winning this fight, whereas in Rocky IV, everything is set up so that a Drago win would be a huge disappointment. Having two people you empathize with in the ring makes it that much more of a compelling watch. Seeing Adonis and Victor fight is almost like seeing Professor X and Magneto debate.
You abandoned me! You took her away and you abandoned me!
Angel. Azazel. Emma. Banshee.
Mutant brothers and sisters, all dead!
Every jab hurts no matter who it hits, and the movie knew what it was doing. Big spoiler here. It knew that even though it was giving Creed the win, you'd be a little sad for the Dragos, so it makes sure to give them a symbolic win. Ivan throws in the towel. He, being the one who killed Apollo, knows better than anyone when a fight needs to be stopped. And the fact that he threw in the towel for his son, and stands by his side when he could have easily walked away the way Russia and his wife walked away, shows he had loved his son the whole time. There are a lot of moments in the film that might make you cry, but the part that made me weep is when Ivan goes into the ring, hugs his bleeding boy, and says, "It's okay." That embrace. It reminded me of the scene in Good Will Hunting when Robin Williams tells Will, "It's not your fault."
It's not your fault.
It's not Victor's fault that this happened to his dad. And his dad made that clear by not leaving his side. The final scene of the Dragos is the two of them jogging. Not training for anything, just jogging. Still stray dogs, but together. Before it cuts away, Ivan picks up the pace and you can see Victor give a smile. And with his eyes, you hear him say, "That's my dad." The traumatized boy finally feels loved. He may have lost the fight, just like Rocky and Creed lost their first big fights, but Rocky still had Adrian. Adonis still had Bianca and Rocky, and Victor still has his dad. By turning these two characters into some of the most sympathetic villains in cinema right now, the Rocky franchise further cements itself as one of the most consistently entertaining franchises out there.